So in this example, we're going to be putting out what we know as z-scores and what we know about the normal distribution table in order to find percentages. So I've started here with a small bag of crackers that are normally distributed with an average of 1.5 and a standard deviation of 0.25. And the first question we're going to ask is, what percent weigh over 1.75 ounces? Now, anytime we want to find a percentage, which I can tell I want to do because it says what percent, the very first thing we're always going to do is find a z-score. So if I want a percent, I need to find a z-score. To find my z-score, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set up my formula. Z is equal to my actual x minus my expected x bar all over my standard deviation, s. So in this case, that'll be 1.75 minus 1.5 divided by 0.25. Remember, if you're plugging into your calculator, put parentheses around the top. This will give me 0.25 over 0.25, or 1. That is, my bag of crackers is 1 standard deviation above average. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to draw what we're talking about. That is, I'm going to draw a normal distribution, and then I'm going to put my z-score on it. A z-score of 1 is above average, so I'm going to put it in the top half, and I'm going to shade it according to what the question's asking. This question wants to know what percent weigh over 1.75, so I'm going to shade greater than, that is, over on the right side. Now I need to remember here that my z-table gives me lower end, so since I know this is an upper end, I'm going to have to play around with it a bit. Step 3 is to go ahead and go to the table, though. So let's put our z-table in. And now that I've got my z-table, I need to remember the two options I have to find an upper end table. Option 1 was to go ahead and look at my z-table and find the z-score as written. That is, right here, I have a z-score of 1. So one of the things I can do is I can come over to my table, looking on the positive side, look at 1.00. So what that would give me there is that gives me a probability of 0.8413. Now I need to remember that this is always a lower end tail. So if I want an upper end table, like I do in this problem, then what I'd have to do is take 1 minus that value, which will give me 0.1587. The other option is, rather than looking at the positive 1 and having to take 1 minus that, I could use the other option and just look at the negative of my z-score instead. If you have a little bit of an issue figuring out why I'm doing that or how I'm doing that, make sure you go back and look at the video that shows us how to find upper end tails. In summary here, we want to find what percent weigh over 1.75 ounces. We found our z-score, drew it to make sure I knew I wanted upper end tail, and then used the table to find that in reality it looks like about 15.87% of bags are above 1.75 ounces.